In this drum lesson, I am going to teach you 10 drum beats that work. How do I know they work? Because I got them from some of the most popular songs across genres, whether that be rock or pop or disco, whatever that is. I went and I listened to a lot of those songs, and I collected the beats that were very similar amongst a lot of them. And I'm gonna teach you those 10 beats right here. Two things before we get started. If you want the sheet music for this lesson, it's going to be in a pinned comment as well as a video description. It's going to have all of the song references as well as the written out drumming parts. The second thing is if you want some drum fills that will go with this lesson, if you're a beginner, you're like, look, I'm just looking for some drum fills to go with these more basic drum beats, then you can look in a link below too, and that's going to be for a video I did, free video, 5 drum fills that work. You can put them with this and they will work very, very, very well. My goal at my online drum school is to get my students up and playing music as quickly as possible. Like in the beginner lesson track, within 3 lessons, we are playing songs. And that's what I want this lesson to do for you, all right? So let's dive into this first one. This first beat you can hear in a variety of songs. It's gonna be 8th notes here on the hi-hat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 4 on the snare drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On the kick drum, it's going to be 1 and the and of 3. So when in doubt, clap it down, okay? Put your sticks down and we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we're gonna put all of that together very, very slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3. All right, now I'll speed this up. If you want to check this drum beat out in action, you can listen to You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. For my next lesson, I'm gonna learn how to not hit the rim of the floor tom when I'm going down to it. All right, so for this second drum beat, you can check this out in the Tom Petty song Free Fallin', as well as I've got a note here, When Doves Cry by Prince, which is another massive hit. This drum beat is in there as well, all right? So the two things that are the same is gonna be 8th notes on the hi-hat, we just covered that. There's gonna be 2 and 4 on the snare drum. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move the second kick drum just over a little bit. So instead of being on the and of 3, it's on the and of 2. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 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 3. For the third drum beat that just works, in other words, you can learn it and use it now, today, play actual songs that were on the radio. This one is going to be a kind of a modification of the last one. So it's gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in the kick drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, eighth notes here on the hi-hat, 2 and 4 on the snare drum. Where can you hear this drum beat? All right, the massive song is by The Police, Every Breath You Take. Another one that you can hear it in is, anybody remember the movie The Bodyguard from way back in the day? I was like a little kid. Whitney Houston had a song in there, I Will Always Love You. You can find this song in there. And then there's a variation, slight variation of this groove in Carlos Santana's Smooth. This fourth drum beat can be found in the song Imagine by John Lennon, and then also in the chorus of How You Remind Me by Nickelback. And this is a modification of the first drum beat I taught you. Eighth notes on the hi-hat still, 2 and 4 on the snare drum, and then in the kick drum, remember, when in doubt, what? Clap it out, right? So it's gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in the kick drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. That last one's a great example. We always think of speed as being faster. Speed goes both ways. You can go slower speeds and you can go faster speeds. So this is How You Remind Me to be a little bit faster. John Lennon's Imagine is going to be a little bit slower. So a groove's no good if you can only play it at 150 BPM. You also got to learn it down at 50 BPM. The fifth drum beat that actually works because it comes from hit songs, multiple hit songs, and here's 2 songs that this one is on. You can hear this on Queen's We Will Rock You. You can hear this on I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett. It's gonna be the same 8 notes on the hi-hat, 2 and 4 on the snare drum. You see how I'm simplifying some of this stuff? I'm kind of giving you a watered down version of like, this is pop music, this is modern rock music, like this is how this happens. The kick drum's gonna be modified from the last one. We're gonna add one more 8th note. So it's gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, all right? Real slow. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4. The 6th one is actually going to be a little bit easier, but for me it's deceptively hard because whenever we have 2 drums hitting together, that can be almost harder than the others not hitting together, than doing them separately. And I find for a lot of beginner drummers, getting those unison notes to line up correctly is a lot harder than the other. So let's check this out. It's gonna be 4 on the floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in the kick drum, 8 notes here on the hi-hat, 2 and 4 on the snare drum. Songs that you can hear this on, there's a slew of them. You can hear it on Uptown Funk. You can hear it on the song Get Lucky. Another one, Bites the Dust by Queen. You can hear it on Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd. So this groove has been used a ton. 1, 2, 3, 4. This next groove can be heard in a variety of places. It was popular in the 70s in the disco era. We can also hear it on something like Party Rock Anthem. We can hear it on Disco Inferno by the Tramps. And then there's a variation of this, just off the top of my head, off of Blondie's Heart of Glass. Four on the floor, just like the last one. We have 4 on the floor, 2 and 4 on the snare drum, and then instead of 8 notes here on the hi-hat, we're doing upbeats. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and get that going here first. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Add the snare drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. This next one is a little bit more involved, not that much more, still attainable by you, still one that you can use because the concept of 2 snare hits on beat 2 is used in a lot of songs. You can find this particular drum beat off of Amy Winehouse's Rehab. All right, so let's get this down. We have 8 notes here on the hi-hat. On the snare drum, instead of 2 and 4, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In the kick drum, we have patterns that we have played all except for one note, the note on the and of 4. So it's gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I could point out multiple songs that type of a beat is in, but look at the Beatles catalog. They use that quite a bit as well. This next one was used over and over and over in the disco era. You can find it on numerous popular recordings from nowadays as well. And it's going to be, let's start off with 2 songs. You can hear it on Don't You Want Me Baby by the Human League. And then you can also hear a variation where they're opening the hi-hat on the upbeats on the song YMCA by the Village People. We're gonna have 4 on the floor here on the kick drum. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 4 on the snare drum, but alternating 16th notes on the hi-hat. So 1 E and when we come to 2, 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Kick drum 4 on the floor. You can hear me do that upbeat variation where I'm opening the hi-hat on the upbeats there at the end of that. Now this next one is a little bit more complicated. I wanted to throw one in there, so it's gonna be the 10th one, and I wanted to throw one in there that's gonna give you a little bit of a challenge. Now this is very much like a dance beat would be in the United States, so that, you know, that disco type of a feel, but this is more an island type of a feel. So it's very much got its roots from soca music, so that stew, goose, stew, do, stew, do, do, stew. It's a very popular dance beat. All right, and so we can check out this song. I wrote it down here, Despacito by Luis Fonsi, featuring Daddy Yankee. So that was an extremely popular song with this groove in it, as well as you can hear very similar programmed drums in Ed Sheeran's The Shape of You. All right, so let's take this, and we're gonna use that upbeat philosophy where we're opening the hi-hat on the upbeats, but we're playing eighth notes here. So it's gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We have 4 on the floor here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, what I want you to get first with the snare drum part, this is really just a 2-beat drum, or a 2-beat drum beat. Instead of being 4, it takes the first 2 beats and then repeats them for beats 3 and 4. Let's get comfortable playing the snare drum on the upbeat of 2 and the upbeat of 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... The challenging part, what we're gonna do is in between the upbeat of 1, so the and of 1 and the downbeat of 2, we're gonna play a snare hit. So it's gonna go 1 and a 2 and 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 1 and a 2. You got to get that motion right. 1. Separate, 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 together. Add that kick drum in there. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 1. Now this is definitely an example of a groove that's much harder to play at a slow tempo than it is at a little bit of a faster tempo. So let's get this down up to a tempo where it would be used at in a song.